My name is Mackenzie, the microphone is not pointed at me, and thank you so much for being here. Today we are going to be doing my July and August TBR video. Hey, ho! I don't know why I'm still doing these videos, honestly. Mainly for the goal. Mainly to see if I can get it done. And mainly to work through my physical TBR. Oh my gosh, you guys. You want to talk about how for May and June I just didn't post a TBR video and I still created a TBR for myself and I still managed to barely read anything on that TBR? What? Why am I so confusing? To come back to TBR videos, the goal here is to have a much smaller TBR for the 2-month period, so that way I can hopefully read everything that I really want to read, and if I have extra time, I can read anything extra. So we're going to talk about all of the books that I'm actually putting on my TBR, and then we're going to talk about the books that I might read as extra books later, but one, I'm not putting it on my TBR, and 2, per my own rules, have decided to, once I put books this year on a TBR, if I don't read it in that month, they can't be put on the next month's TBR or, further months TBR. So not only will I not be putting them on my TBR, I can't, per my own rule. Let's get started. Let's start with this pile. There are 2 sequels that are going to be coming out in the next 2 months for books that I have the first in a series for. Could I say that more confusing? Probably not. Let's start with A Magic Steeped in Poison by Judy Lin. This book came out this year. Sequel's coming out in the next 2 months. I don't know which month. I want to say it's June? Wait, I want to say it's August, actually. Basically, we are following a young woman. Her name is Ning, and she unknowingly brewed a poisonous tea that killed her mother. And that tea now threatens to also take her sister's Shu. So she has to compete in a competition in the ancient and magical art of tea making. I basically knew that, look at these end papers, 1. I basically knew what this book was going to be about, but I never actually read it. But, it sounds really nice. I think I could really, really get into this. I'm really excited about it. I love the color. I love that there is a teapot stamp imprint on the hardcover. It's adorable. I love that they have beautiful end papers. I love the gorgeous artwork. I can't wait to read it. And it's pretty in pink, and I'm really loving pink these days. We also have The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. The second one is going to be coming out, I want to say, in July. So we have 2 women we are following. I think it's a dual perspective. Looks like it's a dual perspective. It also looks pretty YA. We have a princess who is seeking to depose her brother from his throne, and we have a priestess who is searching for her family. I believe the priestess is a maidservant who has magic, and the princess sees her use her magic, and it was like, hey, let's team up and beat the bad guy, who is my brother. And the priestess is like, sure. And I'm like, sounds like a good time. Let's talk about some of these books are from authors that I hear them being talked about all the time, and I want to know if I am going to like them, because I think I will. So first we have Beach Read by Emily Henry. Emily Henry has 2 other books coming out, or not coming out, 2 other books that are already out. Why does it feel like there's something in the middle of this book? There is. It's paper shavings. That's so weird. I just vacuumed my floor and now I'm dropping paper shavings. Okay. Super weird. Emily Henry has 2 other books that I'm interested in reading. One called Book Lovers, and the other one is called, I don't know, because it doesn't tell me what her other books are, but I know one of them is Book Lovers, and the other one is something else. And I'm interested in reading those books. I heard Emily Henry is very, these are technically a romance, but everyone always has something to say about it, how, it focuses too much on the other trauma, or it doesn't feel as, just light and fluffy like a romance typically is. I've heard your criticisms. I'm taking them. I don't know if they are as valid. I think it's so interesting when someone picks up a book because they're like, ooh, genre, romance, cozy mystery, and then they get upset that the genre is twisted a little bit to have more emotional depth. And it's so interesting to me when people get upset about more emotional depth. I guess I can understand if you typically just want a very easy breezy read, but more emotional depth never seems like a problem to me. So Beach Read is about, not Augustus, January. When we see stray cats outside, we name them the months of the year. And your name is January. Okay, so we have January and Augustus, and for the next 3 months, they are living in neighboring beach houses. They are polar opposites. They're both writers. She writes Happily Ever After, and he kills off his entire cast. Very different. They switch genres, and they see who will actually get published. This is why I don't do summaries. I'm not good at them. One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. So this one is making me nervous. She has I Kiss Shara Wheeler coming out, already out, something like that. And also Red, White, and Royal Blue is already out. I have no interest in reading that one. But I do want to read this one. I've heard mixed things. I'm not sure about it, but the premise seems like something I'm interested in. I feel like because it feels like McQuiston is writing generally like a romantic vibe, but like there's more of a plot line that we're following as opposed to other things. So with I Kiss Shara Wheeler, I've heard a lot of like criticisms and then good things, and with this one kind of the same thing where it's like, okay, there's a romance, but that's not really what we're doing. But I think I'm really the plot and the premise of this girl being stuck, Jane, stuck on a train on a subway, reliving Groundhog Day, basically. She's from 1970s, and August, what is up with all of the month names? August is trying to help her get back, but they are also falling in love. The third book in my trying out authors little thing here is In Deeper Waters by F.T. Lukens. So I love this. This doesn't technically have, none of these technically have sequels. So the other one that I want to read for this one is like Happily Ever After or something like that. And when it first came out, I thought that it was a sequel to this one because it absolutely looks like one. But basically we have a prince who goes on like this world tour, like, cause he came of age, and in the middle of his world tour, a pirate like gets onto his ship and like, you know, tries to kidnap him or take jewels or something. And that ends up not going well, and the pirate runs away, and they must meet again. They must meet again. What does it look like on the inside? Is it yellow? Oh, that's cute. That's striking. Look at that. Okay, very cool. Very distractible I am. None of these have great end papers. We have one book with great end papers. I also have some books that I am going to be reading that I don't have physically with me right now. I have 4 books that I don't have physically that I am going to be reading within the next 2 months. 3 of those 4 books I will be picking up physically. One I just absolutely will not be picking up physically. That one is House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I read one Riley Sager, and after that I just have a lot of feelings about him and about the way he presents his books and about the way he writes about female characters. So I will not just be purchasing this book. I will check it out from my library because we are reading it for the Literally Dead Book Club, and I'll read it on my library. I will not, absolutely not, be purchasing that. Other books that I am going to be purchasing for the Literally Dead Book Club and reading in the next 2 months are Hide by Kiersten White. Oh, House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. It's about a house across the lake, and you know, Riley Sager, he definitely wrote about a woman, and she's probably going to seem a little crazy, and she's probably going to be watching the people in a house across the lake. Check the summary and see if I'm right. Tell me in the comments. Hide by Kiersten White is about a girl who goes to compete to hide in like an abandoned amusement park, and it's like a hide and seek game, and you basically have to go in and hide and hope nobody finds you, and then you win. And I think there's going to be some sort of killer element. And then What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher looks amazing and horrific, and I can't wait Can't wait. I don't know what it's about. Look at it. Look at the cover. There's a bunny. There's mushrooms. It's horrific. And I've heard T. Kingfisher's name go about around and around for the last 2 years. So I'm excited to see if I actually like this author and if I can read more of their backlist, because the titles are interesting, covers are amazing, and the plot is always like very intriguing. So I'm excited. Not for the Literally Dead book club, but I am going to be purchasing it and reading it. I think I've already pre-ordered it, so I'm just waiting for it to be delivered. Is Daughter of Dr. Moreau by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Silvia Moreno Garcia is my favorite author of all time, and I just can't wait. Apparently this book is based on the island of Dr. Moreau or something similarly titled. I have no idea what this book is about. You've got this beautiful young woman on the cover, and it's all I need. Show me Moreno Garcia's name on the cover, show me a bright, beautiful cover, and I'm sold. Similarly to how I feel about this one, Untamed Shore by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This one I actually found, not in my own Barnes & Noble. We went to somewhere else, and I actually found it, and I'm very excited. This is about, I don't even know. We're in Baja, California, 1979, and we're following Viridiana, who spends her days watching the dead sharks pile beside the seashore as the fishermen pull their nets. Her head is filled with dreams of Hollywood, of romance, and a future beyond the town where her only option is to marry and have children. But then 3 wealthy American tourists arrive for the summer, and Viridiana is magnetized. She immediately becomes entwined in the excitement of the glamorous foreigners' lives and an escape from the promise of a humdrum future. When one of them dies, she lies to protect her friends. Soon enough, someone's asking questions, and she has some of her own about her new acquaintances. Sharks may be dangerous, but there are worse predators nearby, ready to devour a naive young woman who becomes entangled in a web of deceit. It's a crime novel crafting a blazing suspense with an eerie seaside setting. It kind of sounds like a variation of what Mexican Gothic became, about a woman feeling like she wants more from her world, being entangled by a group of white people, and there's murder. Very excited. I also have here Call Me By Your Name by Aciman. This was also a movie. And I have this. I need to know if I'm getting rid of this, if I'm keeping this on my shelf. I have mixed feelings. I'm not sure what this is about. A sudden and powerful romance that blossoms between an adolescent boy and a summer guest at his parents' cliffside mansion on the Italian Riviera. Each is unprepared for the consequences of their attraction when, during the restless summer weeks, unrelenting currents of obsession, fascination, and desire intensify their passion and test the charge around them. Recklessly, the two verge toward the one thing they fear most: total intimacy. So this could be one of two options. It could be a absolutely stunning look at a toxic relationship filled with obsession and passion where people don't really communicate and aren't honest with each other. Or it could just be something that is trying to be that, only touches on things superficially, and really it's just gonna be a weird age gap romance where I'm not sure how the author actually is feeling about it. So we'll see. Gallant by V.E. Schwab. It is time. July is my birthday month, and a lot of these books I chose just because it's my birthday month and I want to read books that I'm very excited about. This dust cover is like a old paper type. The cover, Gallant, is glossy. It's so good. It has end papers that we just looked at and we love. This is the inside. It's glorious. I can't. So, mixed things about this. I feel like I always hear mixed things about V.E. Schwab. V.E. Schwab is very much a writer of like vibe and theme as opposed to like an exact plot. And a lot of people on BookTube need plot. It's very interesting to see it happen. I don't. I could suffice on vibes and a cool theme, and let's talk about some mental health issues. And that's what I'm hoping for here. I've been told there's dark academia aspects. Gallant is a school that our main character goes to, and it's very mysterious. And when she gets there, even though she has a letter insisting she comes, no one knows her. So that's that. Also, we have a few books that I'm trying to get off my backlist. Chosen and the Beautiful by Niveau. Haven't read a single Niveau. I want to get into her novella series, but I love The Great Gatsby, and I really want to see what this retelling, reimagining has to offer, especially with the magical realism elements. We have And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. I am reading that side by side with One by One by Ruth Ware. One, because I love Ruth Ware. Two, because I'm trying to read a lot of the Hercule Poirot. And also, I want to see how well what is this? It's like a retelling. I want to see how well it matches up. This is an isolated closed circle mystery. I think I like those. I like them definitely in films. I want to see how I like them in books. I'm really trying to read more mystery, and I feel like Agatha Christie Poirot is a really nice introduction to a lot of themes for mystery. So that's everything that is on my exact TBR. Now, let's talk about some books that I didn't get to read in the past couple of months that were on my TBR. So I have 4 books right here. All of them had a sequel that were coming out in either May or June, possibly even March or April. And then the Henna Artist sequel was coming out in paperback. So we have Witches Steeped in Gold by Shannon Smart, The Last Fallen Star by Gracie Kim, The Henna Artist by Alka Joshi, and Realmbreaker by Victoria Aveyard. I don't know if I'll get to any of these, and honestly, if I don't get to any of these, is that a clue / a hint that maybe I won't be continuing on in the series? Highly possible, but we'll never know. I also have some other books that I'm trying to catch up on. I have not finished the Broken Earth trilogy, mainly because I know it's going to break my heart, and I'm just putting it off as long as possible. Don't think that for an instant I have stopped thinking about these stories, these characters, the people. My heart is breaking endlessly. So I'm probably going to pick this one up. Also, aside from One by One, I only have 2 other Ruth Wares that I haven't read, aside from It Girl, which is coming out in July, and I obviously am going to wait to get that in paperback. I have 2 other ones I'd love to read before I get the It Girl, so that way I can just finalize my opinion of Ruth Ware, moving on to her 3, 4, 5, 6, moving on into her 7th book. So that is all of the books that I have to talk to you about. Let's hold them all up. Did I get it? Woohoo! All right. So keep your fingers crossed that I actually read all of these books. And if I don't, that I read books that are actually on my physical TBR instead of just getting all of my books from the library. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye! Tell me what's on your TBR in the comments. Okay, bye.